I think the crop in general is real good out there this year. We had probably fewer problems than we've had in the last few years. Extra rainwater in the rice fields.
Paul Zaunbrecher and his three brothers have planted just under 2,000 acres of rice here near Crowley. They began planting in early to mid-March and finished by the second week of April, just in time.
This is approaching what we call the panicle initiation or green rang stage of development.
Dr. Steve Linscombe, a rice researcher with the LSU AgCenter's Rice Research Station in Crowley, says that although things may have been slow early on, today the rice is looking very promising.
Slow start, but the crop overall looks pretty good. A lot of the earlier planted rice, we had two events where we got down in the mid-30s. We actually had some frost in late March and early April that impacted some of the earlier planted rice, and it seemed like it took a long time for that rice to overcome that early cold weather. I think it is in the process of getting over it. In fact, the rice looks a lot better over the last 3 weeks.
No doubt that the current drought here in Louisiana is having a devastating impact on row crops across the state. Also, animal production and pastures, they're all suffering. But rice farmers will tell you that rice actually thrives in warmer, drier conditions like we're experiencing now. However, rice farmers will also tell you they're getting tired of spending all that money to pump all that water.
Yeah. Some of the newer wells are doing real well. We're able to actually kill those engines every now and then, but some of the older wells that aren't producing the water, they just steady running, and we're stopping them to change the oil, and we start them right back up.
So despite the fuel cost of running all these pumps all the time, rice farmers are cautiously optimistic about this year's crop and about new overseas markets for Louisiana long grain rice.
Going into this season, rice economics looked as bad as it's looked in a long, long time. Price of rice was at a 50-year low. The acreage we were looking at, we thought the acreage in Louisiana may be down 25 or more %. As it's turned out, probably the acreage reduction is not going to be that substantial. We have had somewhat of an upturn in rice prices here recently, brought on by...
Overall, the rice situation across the state remains bleak. But here lately, as harvest season approaches, things appear to be happening. With the crop, trade possibilities with Iraq and Middle Eastern countries, and some better prices.
Last year we still had a lot of rice in the bins of old crop stuff when we started cutting new crops, so there wasn't much of a early market out there like we used to see. So hopefully this year at least we'll have a little early good market.
For This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Bill Sherman.